Hello, welcome to CGTN live streaming. Today we are at the Hangzhou City of East China's Zhejiang province. Actually, we are in the Jingshan town here and a very beautiful tea yard as you can see. Because we know today is China's Qingming Festival, and Chinese across the world, across the nation have observed a 3-minute silence for those who have been sacrificed themselves in the fight against the COVID-19 this morning. And the COVID-19 has impacted a lot of businesses across the world. And the tourism is one of the worst hit sectors. And today, over the next 30 minutes, we will cover and give you a live streaming about how the tourism industry is gradually recovering as China has gradually contained the COVID-19 epidemic. And I am CGTN's correspondent Wu Lei here, and today we are going to be joined by one of the experts in the tourism industry, Tim Clancy, who is a Hangzhou Cultural and Tourism Ambassador.
That's
so
correct.
Tim, nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you, Wu Lei. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very happy to be here today. Wow, this morning was really beautiful, wasn't it? We were at Hua Hai, which Hua means flower and Hai is ocean. And the vibrance, the colors, it really just shows that the spring is coming through. And there were also lots and lots of people.
Yes, exactly. This morning, I and Tim traveled to another field that is a flower sea in the Jingshan town, because today is the first day of the Qingming Festival or tomb sweeping holiday. And we know that generally people tend to go to different tourist sites, but this year, because of the COVID-19, people couldn't go outside, especially couldn't go abroad. So as the epidemic is gradually contained in China, and more tourists tend to go out, enjoy the beautiful sceneries, and also enjoy the delicious food with the families and friends. So this morning we went to one of the flower sea in the Jingshan town. And so maybe our director can show us an area view about the flower sea. And so, Tim, could you please tell us, have you ever been here in Jingshan before, and what's your impression about this place?
I've been to Jingshan briefly, but to this exact place I have never been. Where we are sitting or standing right now amidst the tea fields, we're very close to what's called Jingshan Temple. Now, this temple has a history of over 1,200 years back to the Tang Dynasty. Interestingly enough, when Japanese merchants and monks came to China to learn about Buddhism and Chinese culture, their first stop, interestingly enough, was here. And from where they learnt about Buddhism, they also learnt about tea culture. You wouldn't believe it, but actually matcha, the ground up tea, actually originated from this place.
Okay, but we have to remind you that because of the COVID-19 epidemic, all the temples across China are now have been closed temporarily.
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reason, for the public health, because nowadays there are still some uncertainty because of the public health, because now many of the passengers or tourists come abroad. They are still coming from some very different places.
Well, that's correct, Wu Lei. At the moment, people coming from abroad into China, previously, the recently been coming, had to submit to 2 weeks of quarantine.
Yes.
And also, when people are still traveling at the moment, although there are many people, to enter many places, you must provide a sort of health check, a QR code, where you've updated your health status. And in most places, that will require wearing a face mask. If you're outdoor, people still wear them, but many people don't wear them as you know, it's a little bit more lax.
Yes, as we can see that in the morning, that because of the flower sea, that is open ground, and we saw that only a few tourists wear face masks. Most of them have removed their face masks and enjoy the sunshine and the food with their families and friends. So now that's why in this Qingming Festival, more and more tourists choose to come out and because they are seeking for the more healthy and natural lifestyle.
Well, actually, it's a harmonious balance with the seasons coming in. As spring comes in, there are very in the Zhejiang area where I'm based, there are many traditions when the new season comes in that, you know, it's a good time for the weekend to take your family outside, get in touch with nature, drink some tea, eat some food, walk around the hills, and it's just something that the people, as the COVID-19's, you know, dying down in China, it's just something that people are itching to do, especially since many people, non-essential industries, have been working from home.
Yes.
And usually before, people would dream of working at home, but from what I've discovered is that actually working at home is not as good as being there in person. So people will be Monday to Friday at their home working hard, and the first chance they got, the shopping centres became absolutely packed. A shopping centre, you have to wear a mask, and there's temperature checks everywhere. So I can see that there will be renewed vitality in the tourism industry as the COVID-19 lightens up.
Yeah, you just mentioned about the tea, because we know that in Hangzhou City of Zhejiang province, Longjing tea actually is very famous with thousands of years of history.
Yes.
But here in Jingshan, they also have their own brand, Jingshan tea.
Correct.
So what is the difference between this Longjing tea and Jingshan tea actually?
Well, the tea, from my understanding of tea, which is not a lot, but it's the tea bushes are essentially all the same, but the difference is in the way that the tea's processed, the way that they pick the leaves, the time for picking the leaves, and the various processes. The actual making of tea throughout China is very complicated in many different places. And interestingly enough, I know nothing about the how they make matcha here, but
Yes,
but it does come from here.
Yeah, here in Jingshan town, that actually this April and March used to be a busy season for this tea yard, because a lot of people will come here to take this kind of tea leaves. And for more, we can talk to one of the owners of this tea in the local residents, Miss Zhang. Hey, 你好. 你好. Miss Zhang, who is a local resident here in this little town. 您能不能告诉我们一下这个金山tea？这个金山这个茶呀，它现在这个采摘的这个时间到了吗？现在采摘的情况到底怎么样？
现在基本上都已经进行采摘了。清明前后的茶已经开始长出来了，大规模采摘已经开始了。
Actually, Miss Zhang told us that actually right now many of this tea, much of the tea have been started to be taken right now and to be baked. And 那今年这个受这个新冠肺炎疫情的影响，咱们这个茶叶影响大吗？
采茶工就是比较难找，因为要来自全国各地的采茶工要到这边来。
Actually, a lot of the tea farmers couldn't come here because of the COVID-19 epidemic. In the past few years, a lot of farmers from outside of Zhejiang province will come here to harvest this kind of tea. But this year, because of epidemic, only few of them have come here. 那你们准备怎么应付呢？你们自己采还是谁来采呢？
工人还是有的，会比往年少一点，但是我们的预防措施都是还是要实行的。
Okay. So they will try to recruit more tea farmers to harvest this tea, but they also have to take some more precautionary and measures to enhance the public health. So we are now in the tea yard of the Jingshan town in Hangzhou City of East China's Zhejiang province. 那您能给我们演示一下这个茶叶是怎么去采的呢？
Well, I was taught just before how to do it. Now,
Really?
apparently, the standard picking of the tea leaf, it's one shoot and one leaf, or one shoot and two leaves. So I got.
您能给我们教一下吗？
Let's have a look at what some of the stuff I've picked.
So you just picked by yourself?
I just picked by myself. Well, this one's got too many leaves. Oh, this one's good. So that's one shoot, one leaf. And this is another one with one shoot and one leaf.
This is a standard of this tea harvest, right?
Yes. Have I got any ones with two? Well, to think that that's one tea leaf, and one cup has how many tea leaves that have been picked manually?
Yeah. 那个游客可以来这边采吗？
游客一般在4月20号左右才可以进行一个采摘。
So Ms. Zhang said that tourists also can come here to harvest this kind of tea by themselves, but they can come here in the late April 为什么是4月20号呢？
因为前期我们的茶叶进行一个销售，后期的话是给大家进行一个采茶的一个体验，让大家都来感受一下中国传统文化对一个茶叶的采摘。
Okay, so actually in late April, tourists can come here to have a try by themselves. But right now, this tea is only for pre-selling because this is a very hot season for this tea.
The expensive tea comes out first, so as soon as the
earlier the better.
The earlier the better. So that would be the most expensive one, and as the tea's sort of been picked, it's just an experience for the people to come out and try.
And actually, this morning when we come here, we also went to one of the rural restaurants here in the Jingshan town because we know that during the 3-day Qingming Festival, a lot of tourists will come out to have dinner, have lunch with their families. So we talked with one of the tourist restaurant owner, and he said that over the past 2 months, he lost a lot. But from this holiday, he has got a lot of reservations, more tourists from nearby cities, nearby provinces. They have come here to start to enjoy the scenery and food.
Another thing I noticed in the restaurants now is that people are using communal spoons and chopsticks more and more. It's become a very natural thing. So this is from this COVID-19 in China, it's become a change in behaviors. Maybe this is not so prominent before for everyone, but this action can become more widespread now.
Yeah, and we got one of the comments from Facebook, and the name is Ting On, and he or she said, China is an ecological paradise, boasting of innumerable picturesque landscapes. Return of tourists to admire these places of interest is unstoppable. Do you agree?
Well, I agree. China's got many things that you can see, and China's very big.
Yeah.
And the tourism, there is a never-ending amount of things you can look at in China. There's so much diversity and variety. So I think that as the seasons have changed and COVID is getting under wraps in China, the tourism will recover. There'll be a burst in tourism, a burst of energy, people just wanting to get out there and get away from home.
Yes, and let's go and walk, and maybe we can try to talk with some tourists.
Sure.
And before we talk with them, I know that the local governments have already issued many measures to stimulate the tourism industry.
Yes, I've seen that recently the government has been offering some consumer coupons. I think I am also entitled to get them. I haven't tried yet.
Yes, because this kind of coupons will have people's desire to invest, to consume more, and they can just buy something they like.
Interestingly enough, during this time, all the online services have been going very strong.
Yeah.
And I think that it will start slowly shifting towards people coming out and experiencing, more weekend tourist things around the local area.
Yeah, so these coupons can only be consumed in these offline stores, not online, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. So as we can see right here in the Jingshan town, a lot of tourists have come here to enjoy the beautiful scenery, and I think we can try to talk with one of them. Yeah. Hey, 你好. Actually, we are doing a live streaming, and
we don't have a mask on.
Yes, we don't have a mask.
Let's go over here and ask them maybe.
Yeah.
Hello, 你们好.
哎，你好，我们是 CGTN 的记者，你会说英文吗？
这采访这两个小朋友，我只会说一点点。
啊，一点点没关系。
我这个很会说的。我没有。
说中文也可以哈。我们正在做一个新媒体的直播，就是我们主要关注的是这个旅游业的这个复苏。想问一下，你们是哪里人？
我们是杭州本地的。
Okay, so the Hangzhou locals. So 那为什么今天出来旅游呢？
就是约着朋友们去踏青嘛，然后来，因为趁这个清明小长假，然后也让宅在家里那么久的这个宅了很久的这个，然后出来活动，感受一下春天的气息。
是不是过去这几个月基本上都是在家里的？
对。
Okay, so actually most of these people across China have been staying at home for the past 2 months. And today is the first day of the Qingming Festival, so they want to seize this chance to come out and enjoy the beautiful scenery. 那今天你觉得在外面是不需要戴口罩的，还担心吗？就是这个
会有一些担心，但是也想鼓起这种勇气，觉得应该这个疫情应该是会越来越朝好的方向发展。我觉得拿下口罩也是对这种疫情让它就是像这是一个全球的我们就想用勇敢的去面对到这种户外的地方、青山绿水的地方，我觉得应该还是比较安全的，
比较安全的
自己觉得应该是还是放心的，所以把口罩也拿掉了。但是我们会在人口密集的地方还是会戴口罩。
Okay, so 你叫什么名字？
我叫棉贵姓陈。
姓陈。Okay, this Miss Chen said that actually in these public places they don't have to wear masks. And they have actually a little bit worried about this public health, but in this open place, they don't need to worry because they think that this place is quite safe and secure. 所以你们也戴了口罩，跟一些比如洗手液随身都带了是吗？那么给我们看一下。
我们会带了一些
这是湿巾是吧？
消毒的湿巾，然后我们还带了。
So as we can see that these kind of tourists, they have also brought some face masks and also this sterilization rate, the alcohol wipes. Alcohol wipes,
yes.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, it's
75%
alcohol. 所以也是会把这个公共卫生还是注重一下，是不是？
对，我们会接触这些地方的话，还是会像如果我接触这个登山的拐杖的话，我还是会先擦一擦，然后我觉得这个对自己或对他人都是觉得这个一种公共卫生意识还是要加强的。通过这个疫情，我觉得我们这种防护的意识还是要加强起来，这样对大家对他人也都是有好处的。
Yes, exactly. I can't agree you anymore because actually through this epidemic, most of these citizens have realized the importance of public health. Whenever they go, wherever they go, they will have more awareness about this public health.
那如果是在吃饭的时候，这个疫情来了之后，有没有改变？比如说你们一起跟朋友用餐的行为，会不会主动去用公筷？
公共筷会。
现在是议定对吧？
对，现在会有这样的意识增强，就是我们会如果在跟朋友聚餐的话，相对来说会有一些这个用公筷啊这样的一些意识。
现在比以前要更频繁，对吧？
是会一些。然后我们在家里的话，这种消毒药水啊什么都具备。就是如果有外来的，对常备，然后有朋友来的会全身喷一下，包括鞋底呀这些都会喷一喷。然后这样我觉得会放心。
Yeah, so Ms. Chen said that whenever they go to a restaurant, they will try to use more public chopsticks.
Yeah, communal serving utensils.
Yes, utensils, and in order to ensure the public health, that's good for themselves and also for all the tourists. 好，谢谢您。好，谢谢。That's Miss Chen, the Hangzhou local here. The enjoying coming out the first day of the Qingming Festival. 好，谢谢啊。好。So
there's lots of people here, isn't there?
Yes, and we. Actually, I see a lot of children here.
A lot of children.
Yes.
Well, recently a lot of the children in China have been doing homeschool.
Online. Okay. So we will go walk downstairs, down the mountain, and try to find more about this tourism industry. And actually, how many years have you been living in Hangzhou?
I have been living in Hangzhou for roughly 10 years.
10 years?
Yep.
Okay, and but actually this year could be the worst be impacted by the epidemic, and because Hangzhou is also famous tourist city.
Yes.
And because of the epidemic, people couldn't go out, and I think the city has suffered a lot.
Well, it's loss of hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people in tourism coming to Hangzhou to experience Hangzhou and to contribute to Hangzhou's economy, internally and externally. So it is a massive hit, and it is good to see people out here today enjoying nature, getting in touch with it, and also the confidence of being out here, even many of them not wearing masks.
That's right. You are very right, because we know that confidence is more important than anything.
Correct. And also, to many people, the measures that have been undertaken in China, the very top-down measures, has ensured that many places, it's quite controlled.
Yeah.
It's quite safe.
Because
So-
we have been to some tourists and some people, we have noticed that because we are now from in a mountain and a cameraman is still been walking very slowly. Yeah. And we also will go to a tea house and to see how about the business.
Judging by all the cars on the road that we saw and being stuck in traffic on the way up here,
Yes.
I think their business would be all right today.
Yeah. And we are expected to welcome more tourists in this festival and the May Day holiday on May the 1st.
At the moment, we can just hope that the rest of the world, it all recovers. The
Yeah.
COVID situation recovers quickly, and there are as few casualties as possible.
Yeah. I think the spring is the most beautiful season. As you can see, that there are many flowers and trees, so many colors.
Oh, I see a lady up here. She's selling Qingming.
Ah, it's
It's a kind of dumpling,
Local food?
made from glutinous rice,
Ah.
and it's coloured with a kind of I think it's some sort of wormwood. It's a kind of grass, so
Okay,
they're
let's
dark
try to
green.
talk with him. 哎，你好，
做的，
这个是什么东西啊？
这个是爱情做的清明，今天清明要吃这个东西的。
叫青团是吗？
哎，对的，
啊，这次您这个戴着手套是为什么呢？
那个手要不要碰到，
啊，
清洁点，
卫生是吧？
哎，卫生，对的，
哦
对的。这个清明要吃这个东西的，这是
Okay,
爱情
so
做
this
的。
kind of food is mainly for Qingming Festival.
Yes, usually the contents are bamboo, soft, tender bamboo that comes out in the spring.
Yeah.
Soft, tender bamboo that comes out in the spring, pickled vegetable,
And tofu, sometimes tofu.
they put pork inside.
As you can see that this here we can also see some
She's got some wet wipes.
wet wipes and to improve the public health.
你尝一个看好了，这个丝巾可以擦手的。
好，好，
尝一个吃吃看，没事的。
好 OK. You can have a try.
I'm very full for lunch.
你一点都别吃。吃一个试试看。
I'm very.
我们刚
吃饱了，
吃一个没事，没事。
谢谢，我们刚刚吃过
这。是我们啊石球打出来的，那个石球
Handmade.
handmade.
Yeah,
handmade.
handmade.
都是手工做出来，这个爱情做的，
最近买的人多吗？
And
还可以。
今天是不是游客多起来了？
明天可能还要多。
啊，明天so she said that tomorrow is expected to
Even more.
welcome more tourists. 为什么呢？就是
清明节呀，我们这里就是清明放长假呀，一个小长假呀，不是大家都要去扫墓啊，那到
前一段时间是不是没有太多人？
前段没多人，疫情呀，之前啊，现在嘛这2天嘛刚刚是个小长假清明啊，有3天假期了呀，所以说出来玩的游客特别多。
自己做的清明，
那去尝一个你就知道，这就是我们手工的那个，对，
好，谢谢。
又环保又健康吧，吃的。
好的。So this kind of handmade local dialect for the Qingming Festival. And as we can see, this kind of rural restaurants or hotels. And there are a lot of cars.
And bamboo everywhere.
Yeah, in
Lots
this
and lots
mountain.
of bamboo and mountain.
Yeah,
And the temple lies over there.
that's the Jingshan temple.
Yeah, it's over the other side.
You just mentioned about Buddhism was originally transferred from here to Japan.
Yeah, so Buddhism came from India, obviously, and then it worked its way to the east of China, and the Japanese would have come and experienced
here
and
to
come
learn
here
the
to
Buddhism.
learn about it, through merchants mainly at the beginning, and then eventually you have people like international students in the Tang dynasty.
Yeah, to brought it back to Japan.
And they brought it back to Japan and developed it into, Japanese
Yeah.
style of Buddhism.
So that's why we talked about the tourism is all about cultural exchange.
Cultural exchange, experiences, immersion. It's
Yeah, actually, tourism is a key part of China's economy, especially in Zhejiang province. We know that tourism is one of its main contributor of its economy, but due to the COVID-19 epidemic, the province has suffered a lot. So now, as the epidemic is gradually contained, local governments and also have been trying hard to stimulus and to encourage more people to go out.
encourage more people to go out, reinstill confidence in going out,
Yeah.
and just try and return everyone to a kind of normality
Yeah.
where it can be dealt with.
Yes. And actually here we can see a lot of people are driving cars and coming to this place. We can see that a lot of people are still wearing masks.
Yes, many people are wearing masks. I would be wearing a mask at some stage, but possibly not outdoors.
Yes.
I'm confident enough outdoors, as long as there's not too many people around, to not
Yeah.
be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
But make sure you wash your hands, everyone.
Wash your hands and keep a social distance within a place. As we can see, there's a lot of children here. They also wear masks. Okay, I think that this place is a local tea house, and let's go and find out how is their business is impacted by this COVID-19 epidemic.
The tea house, Yun Lai Ji. That's what's clouds come and congregate.
That's a literally translation. So this is a traditional local tea house here, and we are going to. 你好，你好，您是这老板吗？啊，你好，哎，
Hello，你好。
啊，您能给我们介绍一下咱们这个茶馆这次受这个疫情的影响怎么样？您再往这边站一下啊。就是这次咱们这个疫情，过去这几个月人多吗？
那就没开，
没开门是吗？
哎，不开门。
哦，一直都是门都是关着的。
关着，哎。
那什么时候开业的？
开业是在3月24号左右开业。
哦，so 你贵姓？
我姓陈。
Okay, so Mr. Chen told us that this tea house didn't open until March the 24th. So they have been closed for almost 2 months. 基本上关了将近2个月是吗？
哎，是的，将近。
哎，最近这个随着这个疫情在国内基本上阻断之后，咱们那个游客是不是多起来了？
多起来了，慢慢的多起来了。住宿也有了。
他们这些游客都是从什么地方来的？
来自我们国内的全国各地。
全各地都有。
是的。
So Ms. Chen told us that actually recently more and more tourists come here to buy tea, and 那我们看到这个茶艺这边是主要是给游客展示的吗？
对。
那就跟我们展示一下这边。
好的。
你给我们讲一下这个为什么要？
日本茶道是从我们径山传到日本的。
Okay, so Ms. Chen also said that the Japanese tea culture is also originated from here, Jingshan.
我们现在正在恢复径山点茶。
点茶。什么是点茶？
点茶是什么？
点茶呢，这个
就是始于糖，然后兴于素。
就是一种茶叶烹制的方式，是不是？
对。
Oh, it's a method for making the tea.
Yes, so 点茶 means a method of making tea. So actually, this beautiful lady is now making this kind of special tea.
And I see the tea she's making is red.
Is
red matcha. So it's matcha is normally green, but this is red matcha. So it's actually red tea that's being ground into a very fine powder.
Okay, so 金山的茶应该也是绿茶的一种，是吧？
对，绿茶。
Okay.
这是沏汤点茶，就是倒水点次，就叫沏汤点茶法。
So this is a very complicated method of making tea.
Did she say that the water has to be poured 7 times?
Yes, 7 times.
Yeah. I saw her at the beginning, she put a little bit of tea powder in the bowl, then a little bit of water, and then she mixed it up, and then so I guess the process must be 7 times. I've actually tried this, and the movement with the wrist is very, it looks easy, but it's not that easy to, they have some requirements with keeping the stuff inside the bowl and the size of the bubbles.
Yeah. So 这些今天好像这里游客不太多啊，现在。
今天游客外面有太阳，都到外面。都晚上都楼上民宿嘛，都住满了。
你们这边还有民宿是吧？
对对对。
那今天最近的预订量是不是很多啊？
还可以。
还可以哈。So actually, this place is also a tea house as well as a rural hotel. A lot of people will come here to stay 1 or 2 nights and also buy some tea, enjoy the beautiful scenery. 那咱们这里的这个茶的销售是不是最近也是增长得很快？
现在刚刚开始，我们已经销了1000多斤。
So we have sold out 500
kilograms
of tea.
Yes.
现在这茶叶特别销量特别好，因为什么？我们径山镇的人，这个就新冠病啊，一个都没有，都喝茶的。
Drinking tea is quite good for the health of the local people. So
I'd say there's nothing wrong with drinking tea, but you make sure you wash your hands and social
have
distancing
a very healthy lifestyle.
And have a healthy lifestyle and drink some tea.
Yeah.
So what she's doing, she's mixing up some water, a little bit of water. Let's get a look at this. That's the color.
茶膏，然后作为
tea paste
上面的一个茶百戏写字用的。
Tea paste.
Tea paste.
对，它是在宋朝里面斗茶笋。
这为什么是白颜色？
因为它一开始的话，把那个茶要打成就是乳白状的话，是最优质的茶品。
So this.
Look, I see they've got some delicious treats.
Yeah.
And snacks you can enjoy with tea.
Yeah. So this is latest. This is Jingshan tea here, and a lot of tourists have come here to buy this kind of tea. It's quite fresh.
Very fresh.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the color.
Yeah. Very green and very fresh. So drinking tea, you have to use this kind of glass?
Well, normally I would use a mug at home, but outside, especially with this kind of tea, as you saw when they pick it, it's 1 leaf at a time. Now, the reason they use a glass cup is so that you can have a look at the shape of the tea. It looks, it's an interesting shape and also an interesting color, and that's why it looks better if you have it in a glass.
So actually, Tim, we have been talking about the tourism industry here in China that is gradually recovering. And as an expert in the tourism industry, what are your advice to stimulate this kind of industry in the coming months?
Well, from what I've seen is that many tourism spots have started giving, opening up for free, or even just reduced tickets. And
many of the top scenery sites have been offering free ticket.
And also another thing that's very interesting to stimulate local tourism, internal tourism. In one way, the road fees, the tolls on the roads, are exempt now. You don't need to pay. So maybe before, if you drive 400 kilometers, that could be 200 RMB in tolls one way. So if you're going somewhere and spending some time, you're saving 400 RMB just by doing a local sort of trip. And so I would encourage more people to take local trips to natural scenic places. That would probably be the best thing to do. Not where they're congregating together, and also take effective measures to protect yourself. Masks, wash your hands, don't get too close to people.
This will last a little bit longer this year because of the epidemic.
Well, I can't say, I don't know, but I hope it ends soon.
Yes, exactly. We all hope to. The end is very soon.
Oh, she wrote the character tea on top of it.
Wow. Let's take a closer look about this character that is tea. In Chinese means cha. It's like a coffee way of.
Yeah, it's really good.
所以这个可以喝吗？这个跟那个有什么区别？
不一样，那个的话是鲜茶，这个的话它已经打成茶粉了。
So this kind of tea has been made by the tea powder, not the fresh tea leaves. This kind of tea powder.
I'd say the requirements for that are much higher than that
你
one.
可以倒一点给我们吗？
可以。
So we can take a try about the difference about this kind of tea.
It looks a lot like coffee, doesn't it?
Yeah. 这看起来有点像咖啡，是不是？
但是它的历史要比咖啡早1000年左右吧。
Okay, so this beautiful lady said the history of this kind of tea is about 1,000 years older than that of coffee.
Oh, I don't know. They'd be pretty close.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a try.
Okay.
好，我们试一下。
Okay. Bottoms up.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
It's quite
Very foamy.
soft.
It's soft and
Yeah,
delicate.
and quite different from that fresh tea leaves. Yeah. 好，谢谢您，谢谢。
Thank you.
So this kind of tea performance is mainly for tourists to know more about the tea knowledge. And as we just mentioned that recently, more tourists have come to this kind of tea house to buy tea and to enjoy the beautiful scenery. And yeah. So I think that's, if you have any comment or if you have any question to ask, and we can answer your questions about the tourism industry and about here Hangzhou in China's Zhejiang province. Yeah. As we can see, a lot of tourists have come here to enjoy the tea.
That's a very classical thing to do at this time of year
Yeah.
in Zhejiang, is to sit around in the
This
afternoon.
is a tea
drinking
season
tea.
and also a very good time for tourism. Okay, we can try to talk with one of them. 哎，你好，我们想了解一下您是从哪里来的？
从杭州。
So also the Hangzhou locals. 为什么今天出来旅游呢？
这天好，清明节嘛，天气好嘛，过来玩一下。
Okay. So because of this Qingming Festival and also very good weather, they have chosen to come out to enjoy the scenery.
哦，那我问一下，这个今年是你们第一次出来，就是疫情之后吗？
Yeah.
好多次了。
好多次了。
现在出来还担心嘛，就是也害怕这个公共卫生啊各方面。
我们这里没有。
这里没有。
没有什么疫情不疫情的。
这边做的还是比较好。
空气好嘛这里。
Okay, so actually in these rural places, because of the fresh air, so they don't worry about this kind of epidemic.
Not worried at all. They don't look worried.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so I think that's pretty much about our live streaming, because today we have talked about this flower sea in Jingshan and also tea culture, and also the tourism industry has been gradually recovering in China. And we hope that the epidemic can be ended very soon and everything can be back to normal and people can enjoy a better life.
I hope so. I hope everything gets back to normal. And that's basically it. I would like everything to get back to normal. I'm sure that everyone around the world would like everything back to normal. And I hope more and more people come and visit Hangzhou and experience what it has to offer.
Yes. Okay, so that's pretty much, and we will leave you a very beautiful scenery of Hangzhou. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Wule.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.